Okay, everyone, don't freeze. Try not to waffle. Pretty please with a cherry on top. Your topic for this week is ice cream.
Oh my gosh!
See you soon, kids.
Big Fact Hunt!
Hello, welcome back to the Big Fact Hunt, and I am today's fact controller, Nathan Kenny. Today, Sam Smith, Thom Adams, and Jen Jewell have hunted down the best facts about my chosen topic, ice cream, all about ice cream, all there is to know about ice cream and ice cream-related paraphernalia. The hunter with the best fact, as chosen by me, will next week take my place as fact controller and get to propose their own favourite topic. Without further ado, over to you, Thom. What's your tip-top fact for us this week?
Tip-top, see what you did there, very nice.
My top fact, and you can't talk about ice cream without looking at flavors and different types of flavors and different ways that people have made ice creams. And there's lots of different companies out there. I've got a fellow by the name of Harry Francis, and he has a kind of a boutique ice cream company, and they make ice cream on demand for certain clients. And one particular client that he's unable to say exactly who he is, asked that he make an ice cream called Arousal. Which is made, flavored with champagne and laced with 25 milligrams of Viagra. So that particular soft serve will not be.
This is just voodoo donuts for the frozen dairy crowd.
Yeah.
There's basically nothing else about it. He can't talk about it. He can't it's clearly a sex club.
Thom, I am so annoyed with you. This was also my top fact. Because the guy's name is Charlie Harry Francis,
Charlie.
which is my two kids' names, and then Francis.
Francis,
This is your third
child.
secret child.
Yeah, but we don't talk about it. Thom, can I just add one thing? The name of the company that Charlie Harry Francis works for is called Lick Me, I'm Delicious, which for a Viagra ice cream, oh boy.
What's kind of funny is Viagra was originally designed as a way of to do with oxygenation of blood and blood pressure.
Yeah, I read that they were trying to cure jet lag and all the little mice kept getting boners.
Nice.
Already nice.
I love it in The Matrix where he's given the option of the red pill and the blue pill, and he picks the red pill because if he picks the blue pill, he'd be walking around with a boner the whole time.
Makes it harder to dodge the bullets when you've got that extra dimension going on.
And there's really tight leather pants as well. Sam, having been usurped for your previously top fact, what would you like to go with?
I've got an even better top fact. My fact is Ben Cohen, who was the Ben of Ben and Jerry's, was born 4 days before Jerry Greenfield, the Jerry of Ben and Jerry's. But my actual fact is that Ben probably has COVID because he can't smell or taste. He's got
Anosmia?
He's the perfect ice cream maker. He'll never enjoy his own.
This is new. This isn't like he's had it this whole time and has just completely lucked out on all these flavors.
He's had it his entire life. And that's why Ben and Jerry's is so different, because he based all their flavors on the mouthfeel of it and why they're so textured and why they have chunks and stuff in it.
Oh.
It's because Ben has no sense of taste or smell.
So there's a trend where you can tell when an upcoming COVID outbreak is happening because of the number of 1-star reviews for Yankee candles, because everyone's like, I can't smell a damn thing. This is rubbish.
It's like a cult brand. They have whole stores for them and loads of bizarre flavors like childhood and...
Flavors, Jen.
Well, sorry, scents. They all smell like food.
There's a theory that the reason why the COVID epidemic went so badly in the UK is no one could tell because the food was just so bland anyway.
There's a company called the Magic Candle Company, and they sell candles that smell like the rides at Disneyland. Amazing.
Jen, what fact have you got to lay on us today?
So in Glasgow in the 1980s, you could get from an ice cream van an oyster, a 99, a bat and ball, a stolen TV, or some heroin.
Are those flavors?
So an oyster is a little like ice cream cone shell thing, kind of in the shape of an oyster, and you put the ice cream in the middle. So it's almost like an ice cream sandwich, but with cone instead of
like a waffle taco?
Yeah, basically.
Yum!
A 99 is obviously just a normal ice cream with thing. A bat and ball is like an ice block with a blob of soft serve on it.
Oh my gosh.
Very weird. A stolen TV is when someone's stolen your TV and then selling it on to a third party. And heroin is a class A drug.
There were shootings between ice cream vans in Glasgow, right? Because they had
Yep.
turf wars.
So this was
Um,
the ice cream van wars. So there were two rival gangs in Glasgow operating out of ice cream vans, but also selling ice cream. This is the thing that really gags me, is they weren't just like driving ice cream vans around and pretend. They were like selling ice cream, but then also selling heroin and stolen goods. I found out one of the guys who was involved and who was alleged to have been, who was convicted of some murders in relation to the wars. I was like, proper
Some
wars.
murders.
Some murders. He was sent to prison, escaped from prison, and then glued himself to the railings outside Buckingham Palace,
Whoa.
which is like not a great way to not get caught. Like, that's a pretty popular place. People
That's
go
a
there.
pretty sticky situation to find yourself in.
Gives
Hey,
new meaning to sprinkle them with heroin. Like sprinkle some crack on them.
Jen, did you see what they called the local police?
No.
So because the local police were so crap at dealing with this, they got called the Serious Chimes Squad.
I love it.
So
Do you think
good.
they had the Mr. Whippy slogan of often licked, never beaten?
God, I hope so.
Sam, what's your next fact?
We're going back to war times now. We are in 1945, and the US military just absolutely love ice cream. They built them a floating ice cream parlor for all the people stationed in the Pacific. They'd have this floating ice cream parlor. But my actual fact is that when one of their ships, the USS Lexington, got hit by a Japanese naval ship, the naval officers on board didn't abandon ship. They broke into the freezer, stole all the ice cream and ate it all, and then left the ship. That then sank.
I mean, there's
Yeah, why
forward
not?
planning. Like,
Yeah, is that them misunderstanding the concept of an ice cream float and thinking, if we eat all the ice cream, we will not sink and we will not be able to drown?
That's a very good point. Americans bloody love ice cream.
I think what you'll find is that they were so worried about floating that they ate boysenberry.
You're spelling boys,
Spelling.
B-U-O-Y.
I'm glad you pointed that out because I was thinking of that as a Navy joke.
Just another wee bonus fact about boysenberry. It was invented the actual berry was invented at Knott's Berry Farm, which is a theme park in Southern California, quite
That's
close
great.
to my beloved Disneyland.
Jen, so over to you. What have you got for us?
Well, so on the theme of Americans really, really loving ice cream, did you know that the average Australian eats over 5 10-gallon hats worth of ice cream every year?
That is a great metric.
Well,
50 gallons
so
of it?
5 10-gallon hats doesn't actually equal 50 gallons because a 10-gallon hat, 10 gallon refers to gallon, which was the hat band. So it's actually a 10-gallon hat is actually only holds about 3/4 of a gallon. But Australians are the world's leading consumers of ice cream, and they consume 17.9 litres of ice cream per person. This was in 2010, so it's probably gone up now.
Wow.
And that's enough to fill half a small paddling pool.
I reckon I could get through a paddling pool in a year.
So long as you're not filling the paddling pool yourself.
As long as your kids keep their feet out of it, like.
I'd say Australia's too hot for ice cream. It'll melt and you just end up with that delicious ice cream drink.
These
Water
statistics-
cream.
These statistics are based on, they're not based specifically on consumption, they're based on buying. So it
Right.
could be that Australians are buying 17.9 litres of ice cream and only getting to eat like 4
Yeah,
because
okay.
most of it's melting down their hands while they're trying to eat it.
Do you know that we have an ice cream here called a cookie crumble? It's like a one on a stick and it's got bits of cookie on the outside. And in Australia, they call that a golden gay time.
Oh yeah.
And they're so good. They're my favorite.
Are they boysenberry flavored?
No, they're not. They are caramel and white.
Cookies
What's
and
white
cream?
flavored? Vanilla, maybe?
No, I think it's cookies and cream, isn't it?
No.
It's cookies with white ice cream. I feel like cookies and cream is the obvious choice.
I think you're reaching there, Gene. I don't think that's it.
So, Tom, to bring us to the end of our second round of facts, what have you got for us?
Okay, so I went down a track of weird things that people have made out of ice cream because champagne was great. But there is a company called the Lictators. And the Lictators are an ice cream manufacturing company. They produce delicious ice cream, and they made an ice cream using human breast milk, and the name of it, Baby Gaga.
That's a good name.
Except that they got
That's good.
sued by Lady Gaga for using her name without consent, so they called it Royal Baby Gaga, to be with for the royal baby that was born fairly recently after that. But then they got confiscated because you should not be selling food products with human stuff in them. But it was donated by just one woman, I'm pretty sure.
I thought before you were going to say that they got sued by Lady Gaga because they were using her breast milk.
Without her knowledge.
Yeah.
just harvesting. Yeah, but I was looking at like where they got the breast milk from, and it's just like one woman. So I guess either they didn't make much, or she's an absolute legend of a producer.
Wow.
Wasn't there a restaurant in New York that did that as well? They had it on the degustation menu, and you could have like a tiny bit of breast milk ice cream to finish off your meal.
PETA, P-E-T-A, tried to get Ben & Jerry's, I think, to make ice cream out of breast milk because they're like, it's vegan, I guess. I don't know. It was an animal product, I guess.
I'd say humans are animals. I'd say that's definitely not vegan.
Does that mean that you can't be a vegan if you bite your fingernails?
Yes.
Well, I'm not a vegan.
I'm also not a vegan. Also because I'm not a vegan.
Also, all that meat you eat. Yeah.
Okay, actually, what would we choose? Champagne flavored Viagra ice cream or breast milk ice cream, which is vanilla and lemon flavored?
Breast milk ice cream because I really don't want my penis engorging.
That's fair, Jen.
I don't know what that would do to me.
Yeah.
Just cuts out your jet lag.
Yeah.
Is
See,
this a loophole?
Really nice around you.
I'd have to do the breast milk one because I don't drink. And Kenny would definitely do the champagne because his wife is French.
Because I'm a soak. Yep. Absolutely. Jen, what's your fact for us?
My fact is Henry VIII doesn't lure children away from their parents towards specially kitted out bands. His daughter does.
What?
This is a green sleeves thing, I think.
This is a green sleeves thing. So a lot of people would say that Henry VIII invented the tune Green Sleeves, which is the tune that ice cream bands play.
When they play in hell.
Yeah, the one they play in hell. But it's not true because Green Sleeves is probably Elizabethan, so probably during the reign of his daughter Elizabeth. And it's based on an Italian style of composition which didn't make it across the pond to England until after Henry was dead. So highly unlikely he composed it.
What I love about that though is that like ice cream is so, you know, the Chinese invented ice cream, but that Italians kind of made it a European thing, and so they also invented the song of ice cream as well as the modern kind of gelato ice cream.
Yeah, true.
Is gelato the same as ice cream?
If you said we go out for ice cream, if you said we go out for ice cream and you got gelato, I don't think anyone would like slap you down.
Yeah, but if anyone got sorbet, you'd be like, get the fuck out.
What the fuck is this?
Who are you?
This is not what we're doing today.
What are your feelings on frozen yogurt? Are we pro or anti-frozen yogurt?
No, fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. No.
Bro.
I subscribe to the Good Places philosophy, which is frozen yogurt is a uniquely human invention where you ruin something really great so you can have a little bit more of it.
Frozen yogurt's yum.
Not as good as ice cream, though. If you've got a bowl of frozen yogurt and a bowl of ice cream, you're going to go for the ice cream every time. Unless it's like champagne and Viagra ice cream and you're scared about what will happen to your penis that doesn't exist.
That's not the question, though. It's if you had yogurt and frozen yogurt. That's what you're questioning, right? And you'd go frozen yogurt.
Nah.
No, this is definitely an ice cream versus frozen yogurt versus gelato conversation.
One more to add into the mix. Frozen custard.
Ooh.
Welcome to the party.
That for me is situational because frozen custard is a bit of a commitment. Like I'll eat a gelato when I'm strolling, but I need to sit down for frozen custard. That's like a...
It's marry frozen custard, it's fuck ice cream, and it's...
shoot frozen yogurt.
Shoot frozen yogurt.
And elope with gelato.
It took my wife and I a good 6 months before we were ready for frozen custard.
It's good. You shouldn't rush it.
It's too long.
Tom, would you like to bring us back on track with your next fact?
So I've got an ice cream maker, and it takes a very long time. But I have also made ice cream in two different ways. I have made ice cream using an ice cream maker, and I've also made ice cream using liquid nitrogen, which is negative 179 degrees Celsius and makes incredible ice cream. Yeah. The fastest ice cream ever made, though, so I can do that in like 10 minutes. The fastest ice cream ever made, a litre, 10.34 seconds.
That's slower than Usain Bolt.
Yeah, I was going to say that's much slower than I thought it was going to be.
10.34 seconds?
Yeah.
To make a litre
like you should
of
just
ice
be able
cream?
to go, yeah, Mr. Freeze would just go, pew,
He doesn't
Basically,
exist.
an ice wizard.
Kenny, did you just say that the reason Mr. Freeze wouldn't do that was because he doesn't exist?
I feel like that's a perfectly cromulent
That is
phrase.
actually pretty. It's not that impressive. A
Nah,
fiction
she wouldn't
do it. How dare
way
you.
faster. It's like Usain Bolt run fast. It's not that fast. Superman's way faster.
How did they do that? Was that liquid nitrogen?
Liquid
plus
nitrogen. Just
super
this guy
ice
just
machine?
had some amazing technique. But yeah, you just basically whisk it as fast as you can. But it makes really, really nice ice cream. And I recommend liquid nitrogen ice cream because it cools down the water so fast that the ice crystals don't have a chance to kind of get really large. So that's why refrozen ice cream after it's melted is terrible. It's crunchy because the ice crystals, because they cool down so slow, they end up getting quite big. But if you cool it down really, really fast, you have these tiny little ice crystals.
There was an ice cream festival in Granary Square behind King's Cross one year, and they had all these crazy flavors, and they were doing it with liquid nitrogen. So they would just combine the flavors in front of you and then mix it all together. But I've always thought liquid nitrogen is super futuristic, but it was actually proposed to be used to make ice cream as far back as the 1800s.
Whoa.
There was a woman called the Queen of Ices, and yeah, back in the late 1800s.
Jen, did you say the Queen of ISIS?
The Queen of Ices.
Because I think the Queen of ISIS was the one that Osama bin Laden held in front of him while he was being shot at.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah. Way to bring the mood down, Sam. Nice work.
Yeah,
buddy.
they really, wow.
So, Sam, what's your next fact?
Oh, can I tell you about the biggest ice cream in the world? This is the world record for it. It is held by a family-run company called Hennig Olsen. And that ice cream was pretty big. It was...
You're selling it, Sam. No, it's not that big. Superman can make bigger.
This was a real ice cream. It was 3.08 meters tall, which doesn't sound that big, actually.
3 meters tall.
But this was
It's a
that was
story
actually
high.
it was made in a waffle bowl kind of thing. So it's actually like 3 meters tall of ice cream, which when you think about it,
I
it's
think-
like double my height. Okay, I want you guys to try and guess how many liters of ice cream it was. And your clue is that it wouldn't be good for native birds.
10,000 10-gallon hats.
1,080 liters.
It was 1080 liters, Jen. Well done. Yes, that's it.
What did they do with the ice cream? Was it for a festival? Did they give it to people?
They gave it to people, and they handed out 2 scoops of the ice cream to 10,800 people. Which, yeah, when you think about it like that, oh yeah, that's a lot of ice cream.
So, what flavor was it?
I only had half an hour to find out all the facts. I've got no idea.
Do you guys have vanilla? Like, for the
Vaguely
longest
aware
time,
of the
I have
concept.
struggled to get over the idea that vanilla isn't just like the baseline flavor of ice cream, you know? Like, I'm always like, you make vanilla ice cream and then you add flavors to that to make other flavors of ice cream. But no, you know, it's like vanilla just feels like the kind of the base.
Yeah. If anyone ever chooses vanilla ice cream at like a shop or where they have other options, that person needs to be more creative with their life. They have got issues.
I disagree.
I've done
Vanilla
this.
is a very nuanced flavor. Do you guys know where vanilla comes from? It's the pods of beautiful flowers, and
Isn't it a lily?
Mm.
Isn't it part of the lily family?
Also
so-
wood.
It's
and-
beaver butts, right?
It's vanilla
beaver
essence.
butts.
It's made from
Yeah,
anal
Yeah.
secretions from beavers.
Or wood byproduct.
Can I tell you a fact about vanilla? I have wrapped Ice Ice Baby with vanilla ice.
No.
He came to New Zealand and he did a thing on Jono and Ben, a show I used to work on. And they pre-recorded an interview and they needed someone to go on the air and be like, oh, hey, Robert Van Winkle, that's his real name. I'm a super fan. I really like this song. Check out my rapping, and then do the rapping. I didn't know the rapping. I had to learn it in, it was about an hour.
Yeah, it's a good lick with vanilla ice.
Good
So,
lick.
Tom, what do you got for us?
So I've got the story of this guy, Elijah Doug Quarterbaum, who is a Piedmont blues guitarist and singer-songwriter. Amazing story. So he started off, he loved blues and started by making like guitars out of cigar boxes and wire. Got his own guitar. He was able to record an album, and it wasn't a success. So he kind of fell into obscurity, and he got into the Mr. Softy ice cream franchise. So he had his own ice cream van, and what he would do is he would drive around in the ice cream van selling ice cream and playing his songs through the loudspeaker. And a blues historian heard him and said, "This sounds amazing. Can we record another album with you?" And they took him, recorded another album called Mr. Softy Blues, and it was a success. It was a massive success. He ended up touring, ended up playing with a lot of people. He basically got rediscovered out of an ice cream van, which I thought was really cool and really beautiful.
Incredible.
So cool.
Normally the people who get discovered in ice cream vans are pedophiles, so that's quite a nice change for a story.
Yeah, I liked that at the end of the story, he died a success, which is quite neat.
Over to you, Sam. What's your next fact?
Sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia.
That's what I take the Viagra
Yes.
for.
Yeah, so this is
I got it earlier.
this
Ice
is
cream
brain
headache?
freeze. Yeah, ice cream headache. It's my fact is that is just referred pain. It's you're eating cold stuff in your mouth. Your brain, it sort of makes the blood vessels around your mouth constrict and then dilate again, which your brain goes, oh, that's what happens when people are hurt. Your brain thinks it's coming from the front of your head, like your forehead, and so it tells you to, hey, this thing's hurting, look after that. So yeah, it's your brain screwing up, and the way to fix it, constantly eat ice cream until you die. Or second thing is to put your tongue, which is warmer, on the roof of your mouth. It'll then help to warm up those things, settle it down a bit. That'll help it a bit quicker. But the fact that it is referred pain, I thought is quite interesting.
Jen, what have you got for us?
Ice cream cones save lives.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So when I was looking into the history of ice cream, so in the 1800s, they used to have these things called penny licks, which were someone would go around with like a tub of ice cream or a thing of ice cream, and they would have these beautifully shaped sort of oyster shell spoons, like the decorative teaspoons that you sometimes see that your grandma collects. And you would have one of those and you would have a lick, and that would cost a penny. You'd have a lick of ice cream, and then you would give them back the spoon, and then they would take the spoon, and then someone else would pay a penny, and they would use the spoon to scoop up some more ice cream, and then the next person would lick the ice cream off of the spoon. And so lots of people got cholera and died. So ice cream cones being a portable, disposable, single-use way of taking ice cream away and eating it have legitimately probably saved a bunch of lives.
Wait, did you say disposable? Oh, done.
Well, have you never got like halfway through an ice cream cone and just been like, "Seh."
Never.
Literally
My daughter
never.
eats ice cream cones sideways. My daughter goes like
Bit
this.
of the cone. The last bit of the cone is the
But
best bit.
if you get an ice cream that's packed badly and is all on the top, so the bottom of the cone is just dry.
Even then, it's great. Whenever you finish an ice cream and it's got the cone there, the cone is like the wafer to cleanse your palate for the next ice cream that you're going to eat.
So you can eat
That's the
infinite
problem.
ice cream, right?
It's too wafery. It reminds the Catholic recidivist part of me that it's Jesus. I don't like it.
Sam, what have you got for us?
During a recession, ice cream sales go up. So if you were heading into a recession, put all your money into your Tip Top, your Ben and Jerry's, and your other
Chip Chop.
ones, and you will make $1 billion.
Is there a
Also,
reason for that?
Maybelline.
I think it's just because people get sad and want to eat ice cream.
So over to you, Jen, for final fact of the day.
My final fact is that ice cream plus resin plus orchids equals boozer. So there's a ice cream called boozer. Well, it's not really an ice cream, but it's like an ice cream. It originated in the Levant about 500 years ago, and it's made using the same ingredients as ice cream, so milk or cream, sugar, and cold ice. And then they also add orchid flour, which is ground up dried orchid roots, and mastic gum, and it turns into the stretchy, stringy ice cream treat, and it looks really cool and interesting.
Tom, could you finish us off with your little nugget at the bottom of the waffle cone fact for us?
Here we go. Here's a tiny little one. What ice cream do they eat in space? The answer? Just regular ice cream, because they have freezers in space, and you can actually get ice creams up into the International Space Station. And actual, astronaut ice cream, as we think about it, space ice cream, which is the dehydrated kind of solid freeze-dried stuff, tastes like shit. And so no one wants to eat it, except for dumb NASA fans who have no sense of taste, like maybe Ben from Ben and Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry. Very good fact then, Tom.
It seems wasteful to have a freezer on a space station which is floating in the freezing vacuum of space. Couldn't you just have a cold store?
You could just hold it out
It's
the window.
it's actually harder to keep the International Space Station cold than it is to keep it hot, because basically space is a gigantic vacuum flask. So yeah, they basically have to radiate heat because it's too hot, and actually keeping it cold is the harder problem.
So ice cream is a really poor choice of food.
Terrible idea.
So we've had some fantastic facts today. We've done over everything from Americans choosing ice cream over perhaps life itself on sinking aircraft carriers. We've heard about ice cream wars in Glasgow. We've heard about how ice cream, soft serve ice cream, can have quite the opposite effect. So many good facts. So difficult to choose. So Australians being fat is very tempting to point out. But I think my favourite fact of all of these is going to go with Jen and the ice cream wars of Glasgow.
Well, all I can say is I scream, you scream, we all scream for me because I won, bitches.
Nice.
Look, that's good. Anyway, yeah, but weird. I'll stick with it.
Once again, that was your cat, not me.
For joining us on this very special episode of the Big Fact Hunt. Please join us next week when Jen will be taking us through something we don't know yet. Thank you very much. Comment, subscribe, tell your friends about us, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.